I can honestly say that I never thought I would see the story that I saw today. Shane McMahon has been let go by WWE. When I first saw the headline, I honestly thought it was like a kayfabe news article where basically they just were making fun of the fact that, Vince owns WWE. Shane has worked on and off there for forever, and he has some heat on him for the whole Royal Rumble thing, and it kind of looks like, as of right now with WWE, especially like Triple H is in trouble now. It looks like Shane's in trouble. If you don't put on a quality product that everyone's going to love, it's almost like you gotta meet your maker, whether that's Vince McMahon or the con guy. That's kind of the guy that's responsible for letting all the current releases go. I know that at one point Shane left the company in roughly like 2005. He just disappeared off the face of the earth. The story at that time was that he saw the writing on the wall that Triple H and Stephanie were the heir apparents to take over WWE, to get the reins once Vince retired and rode off into the sunset. Which is funny. That was 17 years ago that people were thinking about Vince one day letting go, and he's doing it just as strong now that he's ever done it, and doesn't really look like he's ever going to leave. There's those stories out there of maybe a company like Fox or Disney buying WWE. I don't think there's anything to that. I think that one day maybe somebody could just come up with a sum of money big enough that maybe he just has to make the deal. But he's built this. It was his father's company, it was his grandfather's company, and he built it probably bigger than their dreams ever were supposed to be. But now to the point where they're firing the son. That's kind of weird and bizarre. The son-in-law's gone. The son's gone. I mean, if Stephanie can't put on a good quality Raw, is she next? I don't know what to think. It's just crazy. There were stories out there that basically Shane's return at the Royal Rumble was going to lead towards him, being a part of the Monday Night Raw storylines, him wrestling at the Elimination Chamber, and then having a big match at WrestleMania. I mean, Shane's wrestled in the opener, I think against AJ Styles. I'm not sure if it was the opener, but it was one of the early matches. It was Shane and Daniel Bryan against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But, even then, even that match, because the fact that it has Shane McMahon in it, is a high-quality match that WWE cares about, and they're not just going to slap it on the logo and be like, this is a match that's going at WrestleMania. They're going to give it time. It's going to be built around, and it's going to be one of the major angles going into WrestleMania because it's Shane. And I understand, Shane's taking heat. The Royal Rumble didn't live up to what it was supposed to be, but the fact that he has to quietly be let go of WWE and just move into another direction, not even like we're going to hide him and he's just going to be in charge of WWE.com. I don't get it. I know that Shane was like a high up on a company. It was funny. I didn't even know that Shane was involved with the company, and then all of a sudden it came out with him in a story on a stock that I owned last year, but I think it was IDEX. I don't even really know what that company does. I bought that because of something I saw online. It was a dog, honestly, for a long time. And then last, probably January, out of the middle of nowhere, it spiked and I sold that shit real fast. I don't really know what he's got to do now. the joke about him going to AEW, I don't that'll ever happen. I guess if they do some sort of a story, they would have made his release a little bit more public if they were going to do some sort of like a WCW angle where Shane buys Impact or Shane buys Ring of Honor. I just don't see it. It would be the ultimate fuck you if he just did it to do it with his own money. But we'll have to see. I guess the answer I've been looking for in a lot of videos that I made about Shane is I didn't really know what his job was at WWE. If he was just an online performer or what he was in charge of backstage. But I guess in the story I read is that the reason why he came back was he was going to be involved with the XFL when it launched in late 2000. No, that would have been it. Didn't it launch early 2020? Because it was after the Super Bowl. It was like the next week is when it debuted. And then, of course, COVID hit, and they had to cancel the season, and then they ended up bankrupting the league, and now The Rock owns it. So, I guess Shane didn't really have anything to do, but at that point, he'd already been back. WrestleMania 32 was 2016, is when he made his comeback to the company. I never really heard about him being around before that, so the split must have been bad. But, we'll see what happens, how he gets to come back. But I mean, if guys like Bruce Pritchard get to come back to the company and get a high-ranking job where they're in charge of a lot of important shit, Vince McMahon's son's gonna be able to get back. No doubt about it. It's just a matter of how and when. It's just probably gonna take a little bit of time.